Welcome to Cringe and Crumble, the podcast where we dive into real-life experiences and raw, unfiltered conversations about life, dating, and relationships.
Join us as we share our own stories with those of our guests that will inspire you to connect with others in a new light. Whether it's overcoming heartbreak,
navigating the dating world,
or finding new ways to live in your truth,
we've got you covered. So buckle up and let's get ready to
cringe and crumble.
Woo! Welcome to Cringe and Crumble, right? This is our first pilot episode.
Those are facts.
Yeah.
Our pilot episode is entitled The Pros and Cons of Virtual and Reality Dating.
That's right. Well, first of all, how was your weekend?
Weekend was great. So this weekend, what did I do? Oh, as always, it was a volleyball tournament. Played a little bit of volleyball on Saturday. Went to the 6-man tournament in Hermosa. No, it wasn't in Hermosa. It was in Manhattan.
Right? Manhattan.
Yeah, that was great. Ran into some exes, the ghosts of Christmas past, a.k.a. what do we call them? The ghosts of Hermosa.
Yeah, the ghost of Hermosa. The ghost of Christmas Hermosa. No, that sounds weird. There's nothing Christmas about these exes.
No, there really kind of isn't. So that was my weekend. It was very kind of chilled. As you know me, I'm always outdoors. And
yeah.
I am permanently like a sun baby. But how was your weekend?
My weekend was fabulous. Celebrated a friend's birthday. We went out again in Hermosa, I don't know what to say about that. And then, the next day we went bike riding. We just rode past the 6-man tournament. It was just a little bit of a shit show, but
yeah, beautiful chaos, right?
Yeah, beautiful chaos. That's a really great way to put it.
Yeah, it's not like the Smack Fest tournament. I feel like it's a little bit more organized.
That's true.
Yeah, but this one was like just a bunch of humans and
packed in a house party and with a bunch of Peter Pan pedophiles. We'll get to that another day.
Pedophiles. You have to eventually one day. We will actually touch on this in a later episode. What are Peter Pans and what do we call them? But anyway, we're going to dive into our episode.
Yeah.
So today, I guess we're going to be talking about weighing the pros and cons of virtual and reality dating and how they can both be used to find love. So with that being said, what do you think? What do you consider virtual dating?
Oh, gosh.
Vanessa.
Well, virtual dating. I mean, let's talk about the title of our podcast. There's a reason why we're called Cringe and Crumble, because Hinge and Bumble have been cringy and
and our souls have been crumbling.
And our souls are crumbling because of it. Yes. So, virtual dating has changed quite a bit. I tried it from, I don't know, early 2000s, I guess, for a little bit. I wasn't really too much into the online dating. But after getting out of a 6-year relationship and putting myself out there, I think the only way that I was seeing that I was meeting people was virtually. I joined Bumble and I think in Hinge when I first moved out here to California out of, leaving New Jersey, leaving everything in New Jersey, including an old relationship and starting over. I found it easy to meet people and try to re-engage in the dating world again through virtual dating. Do I prefer it? I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I mean.
So your dating, your virtual dating app of choice, it seems like it's Bumble.
Yes, it's easy. I mean, I like it because women have to make the move, and I'm assertive, so I like that part that I just get to pick and choose who I want to make moves with. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Bumble, it's great for what it is. I do like that aspect that you are the one who gets to make the first move. I think one of the big faults that I have for myself on Bumble is that I can go and swipe and you have what do we like to call those? compository, or you call it a
Oh, the purgatory.
purgatory of individuals that kind of sit
Purgatory,
there and they're
yes.
waiting for you to like them back, but you only have 24 hours. And I'm not looking at this every day for 24 hours. So within that 24-hour period. So a lot of them expire. And then I'm like, Jesus, I don't have time for this.
Mhm.
And so that was my only like that was my little quirk thing about Bumble. But I think my main one when I first got on was Tinder. That was
Yeah.
when it first started, and it was actually for love and not for friends with benefit status now. So I have great friends now who have found love off of Tinder, and they're married and have kids. But unfortunately, I think we missed that wave on the Tinder side. But
Yeah, definitely.
that was my app of choice, and then I graduated to Hinge because I thought Hinge was grown up, right? It's like
Mhm.
where that app was really designed so that you could actually delete the app because you're actually supposed to be finding the person of your life. But I found a lot of great relationships out of it, but
Mhm.
it was nothing that was long term. Um, but I think I'm more of a reality dater.
Yeah, I mean,
That's just kind of me. But that's like my virtual dating history to say the least. But I know you've also done Craigslist, so that's a different story.
we were gonna bring that up. Did we? I mean,
We had to
okay.
bring that up.
Okay,
It's
fine,
Craigslist.
fine,
Like
fine. For
I
the view okay,
yes,
for the
please.
listeners. Yes, okay, fine. I met someone on Craigslist. Okay. A long time ago, long time ago.
Craigslist.
So, I don't know, I just okay, this is
Hey, can we just talk about this? I didn't even know Craigslist had a dating part to it. And to know that you actually went out on a date with a person from
Oh,
Craigslist, because Craigslist, the way I view it, is like it's literally you're there to find roommates, and you may find a murderer in adjacent to that. But I never in my life would have thought like I'm gonna go on Craigslist and there's like a photo of some human. Like, what did that page look like? Because it's a page, right? Because it wasn't an app. It was the most standardized, boring website. It's just got a bunch of links on it that just go to just single landing pages. So I need to know, and you need to tell everyone what that page looks like.
Well, I mean, I don't remember, honestly. I don't remember the details. I do remember there was, like, a section on Craigslist that was, like it was, like, looking for, like, singles or I think the title was singles, I don't remember. But I just decided to look, and so I met a person, a guy on Craigslist, like, we were chatting or messaging each other at the time, and he was
Wait,
pretty cool.
hold on.
What?
You were messaging. I need to understand this. I think we all need to understand this. How do you message on Craigslist? Because I know back then there was not a chat feature, and
No.
and I also want to know, and I need to visualize
Okay.
what that photo situation looked like. Was it multiples? I feel like there wasn't a corral of photos
I think
because
it
you
was
can't.
just one photo, and he was decent looking, and we I think we exchanged phone numbers, and he was pretty cool, like, he was a
How'd
cool
you exchange
dude.
those phone numbers? Was it via email? I'm visualizing like a rap sheet from
I
prison right now.
think
Low love after lockup situation, but
it could have been, like, the Craigslist email, like, Craigslist will
oh
form its own
yeah, and then
email
you reply
address.
back, and it can afford to your
Yeah, like, it
email.
hides your real
I'm
name.
mad we know all of these things. I found a lot of apartments off
Well,
of Craigslist, not
so did I.
relationships.
Well, let me take it back
That
a
was New
little
York
bit.
time.
I did have a successful not fully successful love, uh, relationship through Craigslist because the ongoing joke with my ex, because I found my ex, he was my roommate on Craigslist. So the joke with us is like, "Oh, well, we met on Craigslist."
You
And we
did?
were together for 6 years.
Okay. I
'Cause
mean,
he was my roommate and we ended up,
maybe that's where we need to be, Go back to Craigslist. I don't really
No.
know. I don't know how we should
No,
vet
I don't
that.
recommend it, but but I mean, it kinda worked, I guess. I don't know.
Well, no, I think it pseudo work, right? You had that one guy you went to the concert
Okay, so
with.
yeah, let me go back
Yeah.
to the other experience was I did, yeah, end up talking to this guy. We hit it off in terms of things that we had in common, and we decided to exchange numbers and meet up. And our first, I guess, date was at a concert. We were really into this one guy like, that was singing. I can't remember his name right now, but he was a new up and coming artist, and we were both like totally into him. And so we met up at a concert. We had a great time and, like, I
What
got a friend
happened?
out of it, like, I wasn't attracted to him at the end of the day because, I guess
He had that one photo that
The
you
one
couldn't swipe
photo, yeah, I
around.
mean, like,
What?
you
Hey, did he actually look like that photo? Can I just rewind back a little bit? I just need to know. Because
yeah.
there's one photo. So now, like, on apps, you have like evolution of your life. Like you're in a group photo. Or you're in that photo when you're like 2016. Now you're in that photo from 2006. Now you're in a new photo from 2023. Like he gave you one of his best, and I wanted to know if he looked like that one of his best.
Not exactly, right? So you're always gonna put your best photo out there, and then sometimes it's really your best from your whole lifespan. So it wasn't exactly it wasn't exactly a match exactly, but the guy was cool. I got very lucky that he wasn't a creep. We ended up being friends after that for a little bit. We hung out maybe like 3 or 4 times after that, just as friends. I mean, but it kind of faded. Like I just after time, you just kind of lose touch with people. And that's what happened with that. So it wasn't a total loss,
No,
you know?
we all know now that you can go to Craigslist and find a date, but I don't recommend
But this
it.
is like early 2000s, okay? I don't think this kind of dynamic exists anymore on Craigslist. I
No.
don't even know what Craigslist is used for anymore because I don't think even people find roommates on there.
No, I think those days have sailed.
Yeah.
That was, yeah, I don't even know anymore.
R.I.P. Craigslist.
Yeah, because I'm like, well, I don't know what that's all about. So then that brings us to, so now we've defined what we think of what's virtual dating, and now we hate to understand what's reality dating. I was going to say
Right.
realty dating. I felt it coming out of
You
my
said-
mouth.
We're not looking for
I
homes.
know. It just
We're
feels like it should
looking for
say.
husbands.
Those are factuals. Realty dating. This is my favorite dating. So what do we define as realty dating? I think it's just anyone you just meet in your everyday life. I don't know. It's something about it. I
Yeah.
feel like if I'm at volleyball or if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm at a bar, I'm at even the gym. Like, we love going to the gym.
hmm
Like just meeting someone organically, I think that way just feels more authentic. Um, as opposed to virtual dating.
It does, and I'm with you, and I wish there was more of that or more people that thought like that, but it's been difficult, as time passes, technology is getting better. Um, with AI, I don't know if you ever heard this, but AI is starting to tap into the dating website world.
Okay, wait a minute. What's the AI? Are you going to be dating an AI
Well,
thing or
AIs
person?
are gonna be sourcing people for you.
You know what? I can get behind that
Yeah.
because you know what that is? That's called matchmaking, but with an AI instead. But then
Mhm.
again, someone's going to be losing a job because now I'm just asking the
Bye bye,
AI.
Talkify.
Yeah. Oh, Talkify. But Talkify needs to go though because please, what did they approach you with? How much
Oh
money?
God. Oh yes. So Talkify has been calling me up, like trying to have me subscribe to them. They asked me a million questions, similar to I guess what's the eHarmony?
Oh yes,
The
but people are asking you a question as opposed to
Yeah,
you
and they're
answering the
and they're just
questionnaire.
really like playing up this matchmaking deal where I have to pay like, I don't know, 15 grand for like the perfect man, and I'm just not buying it.
No, because isn't it like a tiered structure on that? Like for 15
Mhm.
grand, you may get 3 matches in the month, but it can't promise that it's gonna be the person of your life.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is ever promised, but
No.
they will promise a date.
They would promise a date, but they
with
also
with all of my like boxes checked.
criteria has
Yeah.
been checked. But
Mhm.
my thing with Talkify is that I've known Talkify to actually find men off the street and just put them in their
Oh no.
database or whatever you want to call their bank of humans. And so if I'm going to pay you 15 grand to find a man, I want a whole premium man, not who
A
you
whole
just found,
premium
who you
man.
found at Whole Foods. I mean, granted, he may be the most amazing guy at Whole Foods, but I'm thinking like they've vetted these individuals or something, but as opposed to, I'm going to just snatch you off the street because you may find you may fit these different types of bills. But I don't know, for 15 grand, my whole husband better fall off the sky. I'm just saying. I just don't.
Wrapped up in a bow.
He rather be wrapped up in the bow and ready to go.
I don't know. I mean, there's something to it if it exists, right? I think that matchmaking, I'm just curious to see if there's anyone who's been successful with matchmaking. I have heard of Talkify, and what's that random one that was out?
Oh, you're talking about the one you meant the league. Is
The
that the one with
League,
the
kind of.
professionals? Like it's like AKA LinkedIn.
Well, I don't think that's matchmaking. That's more of like a upscale, like a LinkedIn dating. I don't think they
Yeah,
match you.
but it's LinkedIn date, which is kind of awkward, like, someone sliding in your DMs in LinkedIn, you're thinking getting a job, but they just wanna that's why I didn't mess with the league, and then the other one is the Raya one, where you're
Raya,
invited to
yeah,
it.
that one,
I feel like they also find people off the street too, and then they
I
just
think
put
so
them in that
too.
they're like, "You
Yeah.
fit this bill."
I think
Y
it's a
it's a
mixed
mixed
bag.
bag of it's just hodgepodge of weirdness, you
Yeah.
know?
And how about, that one, Madison no,
Oh, the
Ashley
Ashley Madison, but that was when they all got that was the wasn't that a
wasn't that sugar daddy.com? I
it
don't
was like escort service,
know.
AKA sugar daddy. Oh,
Uh,
they had the sugar baby site back in the day.
mhm.
I don't know how those sugar babies doing today. They're probably doing a lot better enough. They're probably on OnlyFans, and we're up here going, "What's the pros and cons of virtual dating versus reality dating?"
Right.
What I do right now to be a
Yeah.
sugar baby. Just kidding. Are we kidding though? No, just kidding. But I think we just got in touch on the power triangle, though, right? You have virtual dating, reality dating, and then matchmaking. Because
Mhm.
I think matchmaking may fall into
A
both
a little
virtual.
hybrid of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of just keep going around this triangle to try to figure out what's going to fit best with
Mhm.
you. So I don't know.
I mean, the thing is that at the end of the day, like, both matchmaking and virtual dating is not it's a whole different experience from reality dating because there's something beautiful about reality dating as well, where you meet someone out wherever you are, volleyball, the bar, church, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, whatever you want. Both of
Yeah.
you guys do not know each other for shit, right? At least, you know, with virtual dating, with online dating, you have a little snippet of what they put out there for you to read.
Hmm.
When you meet somebody organically, you're both in the dark and you start the discovery.
And that's
Um,
something romantic about that,
R
right?
right,
It's,
right. You start the discovery process right there together at the same time,
mhm.
and there's something cool to
I
that, you
know.
know?
That's what I really kind of vibe with is that
Mhm.
because we don't know anything. I think when you're in the virtual world, it's that you're kind of you're giving too much information at one time because you're trying to make a decision off of like I don't know, a million different things about this person. And it's like, even just by looking at photos, and you're saying to yourself, like, well, this person doesn't look this great in this photo. So I'm swiping left, but you probably met that person in real life. They just don't take good photos.
Right.
And you've been like, oh my God, this guy is so amazing. But, you literally just made that one rash decision because it's what you're doing in that virtual world. Um, so I don't know. I just sometimes just think it's just too much. Just too much at once. That's just my thoughts on a little bit of cons of virtual dating,
Yeah.
but I get it. You get straight to the point. You can meet a lot of people, but the thing is, how do you get out the virtual dating world, right? Because you're in that virtual bubble. So how do you take virtual into reality?
Yeah, and that's the difficult part because I think sometimes you get kind of stuck or you get dating fatigued, more so on the virtual side than on the reality side. I think that I can get more excited about dating someone from, Whole Foods. More, I get more excited about that relationship than one that's coming off of Bumble because I feel like I'm having the same repetitive conversation with these Bumble people, and,
Hmm.
like, it's on through a message, and then you, like, plan out a FaceTime or not, or you just go for the meet, and it's like an interview, you know what I mean? It
Yeah,
doesn't
it doesn't feel authentic, right? Because you got to go
right.
through. It's kind of like back in the day, age, sex, and location. That's
Yeah,
basically what you're doing, but
basically,
not
yeah.
trying to come off as doing that, right? But
Mhm.
then you get through those questions, and then it's like, when do we finally meet? And then sometimes you're just kind of stuck. And I'm with you like that. Like I feel like once I've met someone in real life, like at a Whole Foods, I feel like authentically they're gonna really want to follow up and meet up again, as opposed to trying to pull someone out I've never seen from the virtual world into the real world.
Yeah, I
I have
mean,
faith in that.
there's a benefit, to both, right? Like, there's a benefit of dating virtually. Maybe particularly for those introverts that do not have the courage to go up to a woman or a man out in the open, out in the real world. Maybe they find a little bit more courage in talking to someone online, and so therefore it's probably a they're probably gonna vote virtual more than a reality dating. Um, Over anyone else, like maybe an extrovert or someone who has a certain kind of confidence that they can approach people and have conversations with.
That makes sense. But
Yeah.
then also, I think like maybe maybe you should take a step outside of your box a little bit, right? I know you're
Yeah.
an introvert and you're sitting online and you're at home and you're swiping left and right, but it's like when do you kind of get out of that comfort zone and try and meet someone and
Uh,
in in real
yeah.
life, I don't know. I
You
think
only hope that they could do that, but not a lot of people can to
no,
step out of their box,
no, not
so
a lot of people can step out their box, but I'm just asking just because it's just I see that happening, and then these introverts are online, and they're really trying at this, and then half the time they're not getting half the things they want.
mm.
Um, and it's like, when do you find that that's enough, and it's going to be less frustrating for them, and then they can kind of try something new. That's what I'm thinking. I know I'm an extrovert, so I can talk to anyone and do anything, but um, I kind of just wonder about that sometimes. Like, do they ever get out of that? But you tell me, you're an introvert.
I mean, I'm not really that much of an introvert, I guess. I can hang. I can do both. Come on.
No, we both can multitask. No, I think we both could do both. We multitask.
Yeah.
Go out.
I have swagger a little bit. I'm a pretty bad flirt, but if you with me first, I could probably flirt back. I think. But I don't know. I guess like yeah, I mean introverts, I've met quite a few introverts on online. Um which I don't mind. I'm okay with that. I can sympathize. Not I hate to use that word.
Again, to
I can
sympathize.
relate to them to a certain degrees, and sometimes some of the introverts need someone like me that could just poke them a little bit and open up and push them to talk and just be a little bit themselves. And maybe I'm doing the society some justice. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you are one step at a time, one introvert at a time.
Yeah, one introvert at a time. But then there's the thing with that as well is that there's also an interesting conversation around communication
Mhm.
online versus,
Mhm.
in real life. Um, I think there's more miscommunication that can happen
Yes.
virtually.
Those are facts.
And that's where it gets tricky. And if you're not savvy enough, if you don't know how to read the room enough, then I think that can get um a
Get
little
a little spicy.
spicy. Yeah.
Yeah, because my thing is you don't really know someone well enough when you're actually looking at their messages to understand if they're really joking at something or if they're serious about this because you really don't know how to read between those lines because you've never really kind of spoken to that person in real life to kind of get their
Yeah.
personality. And so you may take something the wrong way because it's just that miscommunication as opposed to if you meet someone in real life and you started seeing them more often, you kind of that communication you can start vibing off of and then you can do those text messages and kind of understand like, oh, this is their way of flirting or
Ugh, girl. Gosh. I've had some moments of miscommunication. I mean, it's tough because sometimes, I've had experiences where I'm dating someone, and that I can't even call it dating. I'm still talking to somebody on whatever site I'm using,
mhm,
and eh, they are like the most interesting people, right? They're
mhm.
just like, I love to do this. I love to travel. I love to, these are my hobbies. And then when you get to the date, it's like, did you just say everything you ever wanted to say online and have nothing to talk about in person? Are you freaking kidding me?
I feel like they had someone writing their story because don't forget everyone just narrates their best version of themselves online until when you're in person, you can't hide behind anything.
Yeah, I mean, and I go along with it. I'm like, sprucing up their egos. Like, that's cool. Like, I want to try it. I'm like being really like into like the
And
person
he's
because
not the
whatever.
same
And
person.
he's not the same person in person. And I'm like, so like, tell me more
He's like
about
hiking. I said
your
I like hiking.
yeah. And they'll just say, yeah, I like hiking. I go twice a year. Cool. Where do you go? Where do you like to hike? Where else have you hiked that you really love? What's the most beautiful thing beautiful hike have you ever seen? Like, tell me more. Like, tell me more about like your experiences and what else do you like? Do you like to do anything else but that? you know?
Yeah, I find it like especially when you go on dates too and you have to pull conversations out of
Oh,
men and you're just like the crickets are going, and
But,
this
I mean,
is
it's like that in real world too, but I
it
think that it's
is.
just such a lie sometimes online.
It
It's
all is a
like
lie because we all can pretend. I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version of myself, and it's gonna be the best version I've ever heard of myself online.
the Cliff
You
Notes.
know, everyone's gonna lie and say they're like a couple of feet taller than what they are, what they do. It's a little bit. Everything's a little fudged, just a little bit. So I take
Yeah.
everything with a grain of salt.
Mhm,
That's why I'm
mhm.
like, when I see in life, I'm like, oh, I know.
The shocking ones, though, are the introverts online. So I do give people a chance. I do give the benefit of the doubt that they're not big texters, they're not big callers,
Mm,
right? But then when I meet them in person, I'm like, "Oh, you actually have things to talk about." And so sometimes it works the opposite way. So I kinda try to navigate that a little bit more carefully these days, but it's not always a fail.
no, it's not always a fail. I think it's always a
Yeah,
it's a 50-50
but I
situation,
think it's just
but it's
funny.
very far in between though.
It's so funny though
Yeah,
to see
'cause
what you put yourself, out there to be versus what you are.
no, and then when you finally get there and then you have the conversation, they're like half the things you put on your profile that they just never read, and they're like, "You like to do that?" You're like, "Did you not? I'm sorry. Did you miss all that? It was really there on those photos and all that lovely time
Yeah.
I spent filling out my profile. Thank you for
Mhm.
reading it."
There's this one guy that I went out with that he he kinda catfished me a little bit. Okay, let me explain though. So, I think it was on Match. Yeah,
It
it was
sounds about right.
yeah.
Match.
And he was a great conversationalist on Match. We actually, like, talked on the phone and, so we got along really great, and the pictures that he had were older pictures. They were from 10 years ago or whatever,
No.
8, 10 years ago, maybe. When we met up, I mean, yeah,
What do you want?
it
What
was
happened?
it was like a whole different sock, you know?
A whole
So
different sock.
it
You
was
said he was like a whole different sock. He was like a whole different Sesame Street character. He was like Cookie Monster as opposed to the Big Bird. You're like, what happened? What happened?
but I got along with him so
No,
well.
he lied. That was the most immediate lie he ever did to you. So he already started off with a red flag because he lied about his photos.
I think it was an insecurity thing,
I'm not gonna
honestly.
let that pass there because you knew exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, I dated him for a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it sucks that he felt that he had to put, an older picture. He couldn't put his authentic self out
He was
there.
able to put like 10 photos up there. He couldn't find one. He didn't put one that looked
He
like the
put,
real
like,
version of
maybe, like,
himself.
3 or 4 photos, not 10. But, I mean, I he was a great person, and I can speak well about him to this day because I think he was a good person in general, and I think the insecurity got to him. But, yeah, dude, like,
That's a red flag, but I get it.
that
I mean, that
it was
was
hard. It was hard to see past that, that
yeah,
red flag.
because that's just a huge if you start a relationship off with a lie, I
Yeah.
don't know what else you're gonna lie to me about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. There was a lot of insecurity there,
And
so
I can't raise you, and I can't take you out those insecure bubbles. I can only do so
yeah, that's
much.
true, that's true.
We're not on the stage of raising kids. His mom did that for him already.
Yeah.
That's neither here nor there. As we go down our great rabbit holes, because there's this like,
I know, I can go on forever. I probably will throughout this whole entire season.
I know. It's gonna be a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
Um, but what are you gonna say? I see you're ready.
I'm
You're gonna
waiting for you.
you're waiting for me.
I mean, so there's
S
they're both okay. So let's get back to the topic: virtual dating versus reality dating, and both are important in our generation.
Mhm.
There's no escaping it. It's just getting better.
No, I don't think it's getting better. That's a
No, okay,
lie.
the technology is getting better.
Is it though? Because those
It
algorithm is
will with
not.
this AI thing. I mean, we gotta.
All right, well, we're gonna try the AI. If you wanna use us as test dummies, I think they should reach out to us at contact at Courage and
If
Crumble.
they pay me to date, hell
Well,
yeah.
no, if the AI is gonna do it for me, let me figure it out. Like she can chat GPT me a whole man, I'm good for it.
ChatGPT me.
Um, but I know, no, I'm sorry. Go back to your thought. Okay, I don't. Is it improving? I'm gonna pray that it is. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, I think it's just it's here to stay.
Of
it's not
course,
going anywhere,
it's
and we
not
should
going anywhere.
probably
And we're gonna embrace it. You're gonna tell me I should embrace
no,
it.
I didn't say embrace, but if you can't beat them, join them, maybe.
It's all like a parent with their kids at the baseball field. We're all winners. We're not all winners. Everyone can win. One
I
team can win. One team has to lose. I'm sorry.
oh my gosh.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you're right. Do what we got to do. I think it comes down to your personal preference, right? So it's really like what makes you feel comfortable. If you're comfortable behind doing virtual dating and going on apps and reaching out to people that way, I say stick to it. Or are you one of those people that like to just kind of flush yourself out of that? I mean, virtual dating and just do reality dating. I say do it. I mean, I do it a lot. I take times away from the app and try to figure out, do my social cues still add up
That's
for meeting people in
true.
real life?
Yeah.
Maybe we all should probably take a little detox sometimes.
I agree. You know what? I get very much fatigued, dating fatigued, through the online, virtual dating.
Yeah.
It's tiring, exhausting. It's just
And dating shouldn't feel exhausting and
right.
tiring, right? And
Yeah.
if you're starting to feel that way, we're like,
Mhm.
we're doing too much here.
Yeah, and I think that there's something, like I said, there's pros and cons for both, and taking a break from virtual dating and trying to really put yourself out there in the real world and approaching people and allowing yourself to be approachable, right? I think that is a really important skill set that a lot of people are losing because they're hiding behind the screen.
Hmm.
There's like this whole, social aspect that we are not refining and we're just losing all of our touches, and that's really sad for humanity as well. So,
That's very true. I
you
think
know,
everyone's afraid to be vulnerable. No one wants
mhm.
want them to see themselves in that vulnerable light. But that's just a part of being a human, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, you have to learn how to build these social skills and
yes.
confidence and just, even if you get knocked down or turned down, like that's okay. Like you need to learn how to accept rejection. It's a basic skill in life that it doesn't only apply in dating, but it applies in the job hunting and it applies in, the house hunting, whatever it is. Like it's always going to make you stronger. And so there's I do encourage the real online on not online, real life dating. I think definitely it's a preferred way, but we should kind of be able to balance between the two and not let yourself hide in the virtual world too
Hmm.
much. Because at the end of the day, like that's not gonna it's that you're not gonna find your person if you
Mm-mm.
just keep hiding behind something.
No, that is so
Yeah.
true. And I forgot to ask this question before we like leave ourselves. How do you think men and women approach the virtual dating world? Just because I have my thoughts on that, but I want to hear your thoughts.
How do men approach
Yeah, like what do you think their thoughts on like virtual dating? Like they would prefer that of
Oh,
like
they
real.
freaking love it.
Of course, it's like a cattle ranch for them
Yeah,
of just humans
they
left to
love
right.
it. I mean, my personal opinion, like, they probably feel like they've hit some sort of lottery in this whole
They
new
hit that super lotto. They hit
technology.
that super lotto.
I have a gut feeling that more men are insecure than we thought, and I
Hmm.
think that
And they use this as like an ego boost sometimes
or
because.
a security blanket
Hmm.
to kind of put themselves, quote, unquote, "out there."
Yeah. Like, because I'm texting this girl, I'm messaging this girl, I got like
Yeah.
25 girls on my queue. Then it's like literally to the point where you're like,
Mhm.
how do you even have the
Yeah,
patience?
it's funny because unfortunately, there's a lot of men who are in relationships or they're married that gives them the opportunity to, like, have these conversations or engage with women easier. They don't have to go to a bar anymore to, like, cheat, which is really
Well, to
sad,
them,
you
they're gonna
know?
say they're not cheating because they're only talking to that
Oh, that's
person.
bullshit.
It's emotional
Mm-mm.
cheating.
Nope, it is emotional
Emotional
cheating.
cheating.
Yep.
Just out there for the record. If you can't get, mm,
Mm-mm.
mm,
I'm sorry.
that's the thing. I
Do
know.
not pass that on a technicality. That is full on cheating. I'm
Yeah, that's a
sorry.
flag on the play right there.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well,
I mean, there's so much to I mean, we can go on and on and on.
I
There's
don't wanna go on about that because it's gonna go down the bad rabbit hole, but I think, like, really, though, in my conclusion of, final thoughts of virtual versus reality dating. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I will they're like my children, right? Like, I'm gonna love them both.
As equally as I like how
As
parents
equal.
lie. You have no favorite one. I have a favorite child.
You do have a favorite
I have a
child.
favorite child. I
You're
don't
that mom.
I'm that mom. I have no kids, but in the virtual and the reality world, I have a favorite child, and it's called the reality child,
Yeah.
but I still love the virtual girl sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, they both have their purpose. It's just a matter of how you use them and for your
Let's talk to Bumble, let's
search.
talk to Hinge, let's talk to Tinder,
Mhm.
and we'll talk to
Exactly.
Whole Foods, and we'll talk to the gym and volleyball. All 6 of my kids.
Yeah, it's not it's only a negative if you make it a negative, right?
No, it's all fun and games until someone gets their feelings hurt, right?
Mhm.
But it's just really, like I said, I think before, it's all about your preferences, right?
Right.
We're not
And
here.
how you approach these dates, right? We forgot how, like, what does it look like to date like, sometimes it's us too,
Those
us
are
women.
facts. I went on a date and I forgot how to date, and I was like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was on a whole interview with this guy, and I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work
Yeah, I mean,
out.
even when I came to California, I was like, "I don't know how to do this anymore. Like, how do I date? Do I dress up? Do I dress regular? Am I supposed to wear, like, my best shoes?" Like
You're supposed to wear your best, but my thing is, I just get exhausted, and then if a
Yeah.
conversation's boring, I start shutting down
And
like a
then
toy.
that's when you need the liquid courage, right? That we had to be very, very, very careful because, you can't liquid courage is not medicine, it doesn't make you invisible, it makes
And liquid courage lets those introverts sing to the highest level they can ever sing at.
I know, yeah, until they end up at a karaoke bar in the middle of the night
There you
with
are. I
when they're really
don't
singing in Koreatown and then staying Koreatown.
say. Listen,
Waking
there's.
up on Wilshire.
I hope you were not outside on Wilshire though. We're gonna pray for your soul.
I've been outside of Wilshire. Oh gosh.
Oh God, yeah, we yeah. You're gonna learn a lot about us this season. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, you're right. I mean, sometimes it is us. Like like fatigue. I don't know what I'm doing on a date. I just don't like the person. I thought I liked the person. They probably don't like me, and I'm just at the point where it's like, can we just go home, or I'll take a couple of drinks and then I go home. Like I don't know, but
I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at cutting to the chase.
I cut straight to the chase. What are you looking for? What do you want to do? How's life? We're going to an interview. It's called 21 Questions.
Oh, I have a whole
Get with it.
jar of it's not a 21, it's like 101 at this point.
101.
It actually, it was another date that started that. That was an interesting one because it was his idea to play the game, and so he asked for a notebook and started we were cooking, I was, like, making some chili, and while we were waiting for the chili to cook and I was, doing whatever I needed to do, he was writing down questions, and he just started putting it in a jar, and then I thought of questions, and I put them in the jar. And then we just started to pick out of it, and that was our date. It was
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I was
That's like a lot of
surprised it
fun.
was his idea, and I'm like, "This is a great idea, I'm gonna do this with everybody." So then I started adding more questions.
Now you got 101 questions. You know what you
I
should do?
started thinking more
Just
about what I
take the
really wanna know.
just take the box of cards of intimidity and see how far you get with that.
It was actually, yeah, no, it's a good jar.
I know that I think that is a pretty good icebreaker when you go on your first date. Just
Yeah,
have the 21 questions and just let's not beat around the bush.
yeah.
I was on a date and he was beating around the bush, and I was like, just get straight to the point. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Ugh,
And then
gosh.
it was just a whirlwind of
You gotta, like, navigate that conversation too. That it's so annoying because some people are just not able to kinda shoot the shit and just be forward with things, that they think too much about the question and don't know how to because they don't know how to answer it, right? They don't know what they want.
well, I think in this scenario they knew what they wanted, which was I don't want anything besides just friends with benefit situation, but I don't want to ruin this night by saying such a thing. So I'm gonna beat around the bush.
Right.
And then it comes down to, well, I'm just spreading love everywhere because not one person should just spread love to one person. It should be to multiple people. And then this
Oh
philosophy
gosh.
about dating, and you're like, do you hear yourself explaining these things to me? Because they don't make any sense. And then I like the example though that I got was like, let's say for instance, you married a math teacher, but you want something creative, but that math teacher can't be creative, so you have to find someone else who has a creative personality. And I'm like, well, how about you both go learn to go to be creative?
Mm.
But it's like, no, you have
You
to find another
sacrificed a
person.
little bit. Yeah.
No, I have no idea. I'm tired. These men.
I know. It's been the struggle. I mean, the struggle's real. And I know it's real not only for us people in LA, but it's real for people in New York. It's real for people in Wisconsin. It's real all over the place. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's an ongoing,
Conversation.
yeah.
But we've got a lot to talk about this
Yeah.
lovely
And
season.
that's what
I'm
we're here for. We're
super
going to just
excited.
chit chat.
We're gonna chit chat, but we're gonna really bring in these stories because there's a
Yeah.
lot of fun episodes ahead of us. And
Yeah.
it's
This is
just
only just
the tip of
defining
yeah.
what's out there right now, right?
Oh my
And
God.
all of these.
We should write a book at some point. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, we will. We'll get there. There's plenty.
All right. Well, we already know who my favorite kids are. It's
Yeah.
reality.
Oh, I love them all.
I still love the kids. I just have one favorite.
Yeah, you're that mom.
Even though I don't have kids, but I'd probably be that
Yeah.
mom. So you have a favorite kid? No, I don't. Yes, I do.
Well, anyways, so
We're out.
yeah, good combo.
Great
Good,
combo.
good start to our little journey on what's cringy, what's crumbling us. And we have so much more to come. We have a lot more specifics and a lot more exciting stories and
But yeah, and also don't forget to say you should share your thoughts on
yes,
virtual reality.
anybody who has
God.
their own opinions, and we could be wrong, we could be right, or we can all be just be.
But the thing is,
We all have our
do we
unique
have to be wrong or
experiences.
right? It's just called our opinions. You take
Opinions,
it
exactly.
or you leave it.
Yeah,
That's that easy.
that's it.
Yeah, I like that. Take it or leave it. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm so proud of you. We're
Yeah.
like little babies. All right, we're done.
All right. Sayonara. Till next time.